I'm here to redefine first love, because we've been told that your first love is that person that you lost your virginity to. And I'm here to tell you that I loved long before I lost my virginity. Welcome to another episode of Becoming with Angelina Watkins, where we are turning dreamers into believers and doers. We are here to help you get unstuck and unbothered so you can pursue your dreams by giving you the blueprint and a new perspective on how to win it. Love, life, and money. I'm your host, Angelina Watkins, and I'm so glad to have you here with me today. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's episode, I'm going to get right into this. We're going to talk about my first love. And so we're going to talk about love and relationships. And I'm going to share with you some of my intimate story, one of my intimate stories about love. And so before I get started, I just want to talk about the fact that in life, we have woes. We have work woes, money woes, business woes, church woes, kids woes. I'm going to make ends meet woes. I've got to get through school woes, family woes, spouse woes. We have them all. Okay. But at the center of all of it is relationships. At the center of our woes is relationships. And it's the relationship with ourselves and our relationships with others. And so people are struggling to build healthy relationships with themselves, which makes it difficult for them to build a healthy relationship with other people. And so think about it. All right, just think about it. How can someone love you if you don't love yourself? Okay, because if you don't love yourself, then you're hiding who you are, and then you're showing up and you're showing them something different, and they really can't even really love the true you because you're hiding, right? You don't love you, so they can't love you, and you don't value you. And if you don't value you, then how can they value you? Because if you don't value you, then you're making bad choices that in turns you're choosing someone who's not going to value you either. Okay, so we've got to learn to love ourselves. We've got to learn to value ourselves. And so now growing up, I didn't see healthy relationships in my life. But I seen, well, in real life, I didn't see, but in my lifetime, what I saw growing up was a healthy relationship was the Cosby Show. So say what you want about Cosby. I don't really care. I'm not here to debate you about whether he's guilty or innocent or anything of the fact. But what is undeniable is the fact that the Cosby Show played an integral part in redefining the Black family in the 80s and 90s. Absolutely, you cannot deny that. And so I knew I wanted a man who treated me with respect and honor, allowed me to have a voice, allowed me to shine in my strengths. And that is what Cliff did for Claire. That's what I saw. That's what I got out of the Cosby Show. Claire was important. Her feelings were important. Her opinion was important. They embodied partnership. They were the epitome of harmony. And he knew when she was upset to let her be. And he'll talk with her afterwards. He knew her and he let her be Claire. So when you're looking for love, what is the vision you hold to be true in your mind as to what love should look like for you? Even though I had a vision, as relationships would fail, the vision became distorted and I began to accept and put up with things that I swore I would never put up with, right? And I began to embrace and I didn't stick to my deal breakers, okay? So I had a vision. Again, I wanted to be honored and respected and loved for who I am. But of course, did I even know who I was? And so now I thought I loved me. I thought I loved me, but in the grand scheme of things, I really didn't know my worth or my value. I spent many days and many years thinking my grass was not green enough. The grass is green on the other side for him. And so I had some insecurities that I needed to work through. But there would come a day where, I had these deal breakers, I had this vision, I had these vows, but after going through so much heartbreak, and heartache, it would just start to eat away at my vision. It would eat away at me mentally. It would eat away at me emotionally, until I become this person who has a hole in her heart, who's now showing up and she's attracting unhealthy relationships. I'm attracting the heartbreak. And I had to then work on me. I had to realize that if I had to do better if I wanted better. And I had to do better so that I could choose better. So that I had to work on my attitude. I had to work on my insecurities. I had to work on being happy with me, so that someone could be happy with me. Like, again, you got to love you before they can love you. And I had to work on, and I'm still working on some things, but I had to work on these false personas that I had adopted over the years. It just wasn't cutting it. It just wasn't cutting it in the in these relationships. And it's like, will the real Angelina stand up? Who are you really? And all of the anger and the insecurities and the attitude, and that's really at the core of me, not who I was. But that's what I had to project to the world in order to protect myself from heartbreak. But I was still getting heartbroken anyway. So anyway, what do I want? What fits me in my personality? That's what I had to start thinking about. What would fit me in my personality? I had to get back to a vision of what I wanted my relationships to look like. And so I had to identify what is the type of man and relationship that's going to work for me. And so part of that was looking back at the times in my relationships that I was happy, because they weren't all bad. I mean, there was heartache, but they weren't all bad. So I had to go back and look and say, okay, what did work for me in those relationships? What made me happy? When did I feel at my best? When did I feel love? When was it working for me? And then I had to go back and I had to tell you that when I started to look back, there were a couple people who kind of set the bar high. And I said, I don't have them, but that's my benchmark. That's where I would begin to measure what I'm looking for in future relationships to determine, is this person going to work for me? How do they measure up to this bar that these guys have set when I was in a relationship where I was happy? And I know you're probably saying, you were in a relationship, you were happy, then why didn't you stay in the relationship? Young and dumb. We do some self-sabotaging things, but I want to tell you about my first love, okay? Because he would be the one who really set the bar high. And and now that I'm working through my self-sabotaging behaviors that I am bringing into relationships, because honestly, once you've had some heartbreaks and then you keep having these heartbreaks and they're chipping away at you, well, yeah, I'm gonna say you, me, we. We all have these self-sabotaging behaviors, and these relationships become mentally damaging to us. And so they just send you into a deeper mental hole of not feeling worthy, loved, appreciated, wanted, beautiful, and enough. That's where I was. But let me tell you about my first love, okay? And when I tell you about my first love, I'm here to redefine first love, because we've been told that your first love is that person that you lost your virginity to. And I'm here to tell you that I loved long before I lost my virginity. And so you have to define love, because Tina Turner said love is a secondhand emotion. Love is a commitment. Love is an action. And so my first love came long before I gave my virginity to someone. And so my first love that I started when I was in the 10th grade. And so I was in high school, I was in the 10th grade. And let me just tell you, I had crushes, okay? But to me, that first love is that person that, man, when I tell you, they just send you physically, mentally, emotionally to another place and then they're able to back it up. I remember walking into the lunchroom one day and there's this guy standing there and he takes my breath away. Like, this is beyond a crush at this point. Like, literally took my breath away. And he was fine. Oh my God, he was fine. But I was in the 10th grade, he was in the 12th grade, not even thinking that he would have be interested in me at all. And I'm telling you this because if you go back to my earlier episode, I said you have a crush on someone and you're afraid to say something, not even realizing that they're crushing on you too. Well, I have this, I'll say crush, but he took my breath away. Now, what I don't know is that at some point he notices me and I take his breath away. And so we have a mutual friend. He goes to the friend and he tells this friend, hey, he's interested in me, but I'm not even thinking anything of it because at the time when he took my breath away, I found out he had a girlfriend and his girlfriend was really pretty. And again, I'm insecure and I'm comparing myself to everyone else, thinking the grass is greener on the other side, not really knowing my true beauty. And, not even thinking that for a minute I would have a chance with him, not seeing after this pretty girl he's dating that he would even be interested in me. This chick here that wears dresses every day, that everybody calls the secretary and the librarian, and I'm not even thinking I measure up, but I do. He goes to my friend. He wants to know who I am. He wants to get my phone number. So she wants to know, can she give him my phone number? Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can give him my phone number. And so she gives him my phone number. We end up talking. And I was a shy person then. I'm an introvert. I'm not as shy, but I'm still an introvert. But I was really shy back then. Really, really shy. But at this point, this person is opening me up to talk. Like, I love talking to him. He made it just so comfortable for me to talk to him, to have conversations and to open up. And so we would be talking on the phone every night, and he just made me feel good about myself. He really paid attention to me. He made me feel beautiful. He would draw me pictures, and he would wait for me to walk me to class. I remember I was in a driver's ed class, and in the way our building was, you had the main school building, but then there was this long hallway you had to go to get to the gym. And in the gym is where we would have, there was a room down there by the gym where we would have driver's ed. And so I had driver's ed was like my first bell. Well, when I would come back to the main building and come up those steps to go to my class, my next class, who is standing up at the top of the steps waiting for me? But him. Every day. He's there waiting for me. And he would carry my books for me and he would walk me to class. Like, who's not gonna love that? How's that not gonna make a girl feel good? I mean, come on, y'all. Even as an adult, do we not want our man to wait for us? Do we not want our man to open the door for us? Do we not want him to carry our bags when we go to the grocery store? I mean, I love it when I go to the grocery shop and then my husband is like, go get in the car, and he's putting the bags in the trunk. Like, that makes you feel good. And so here it is. He's making me feel good, y'all. He's making me feel beautiful and pretty. He's making me feel noticed and considered. Like, that's a considerate thing to be standing there every day at the top of the steps to walk me to class and carry my books. He would somehow get out of his school bell, his class bell to come to lunch because we didn't have the same lunch hour, And so that just kind of shows you the type of person he was. And of course that's going to make a girl like me or any teenager feel important. And so he was very respectful, very honest, very pure in heart. And that was my first love, y'all. That was my first experience of really and truly feeling loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, and considered. Beautiful, worthy, and enough. And so I lost that because he moved away. Now, that was probably one of the hardest times in my life, because that is at the same time that he moved away is when my father left as well. And so I told you in an earlier episode about coming home from church, the living room furniture is gone, the bedroom furniture is gone, my father is gone. Well, in that same token, I want to say that same night is when I get this phone call that, hey, I have to tell you that my father lives in New York and he wants me to come stay with him and finish out my senior year. Heartbroken. OMG. He's moving to New York. Like, we're just getting good into this. I mean, this is just what I've been looking for, and he's leaving. You all, when I tell you heartbroken, crying, even right now, I kind of feel a little emotional when I think about it. He's gone. He's gone. My father's gone. That was hard for me. That was a hard time for me. But I loved him. So I'm going to wait for him. I'm going to have a long distance relationship, even though I'm not really on long distance relationship. I'm going to wait for him, because when he graduates, then he can leave and he can do what he wants to do, and he can always come back for me. And that didn't happen because I let someone get in my ear, and I let someone come to me and tell me, you know, this is never going to work because he doesn't go to the church. Okay, y'all, we going back to that godly man being at the church, being in the same religion and all that kind of stuff. And I'm heartbroken. And I'm listening to this person tell me, like, you know, it's not going to work. And I'm sitting here running it through my head, like, but it can work. I love him. It can work. But it's not going to work because, you know, what if he doesn't ever come to the church? And then what if the family doesn't approve? And what if they don't accept him? And what is going to happen to me when I go to church? And, you know, all of these things. Y'all, I'm 15. Okay, I'm 15. I'm still mentally immature. I don't even know. And so I did what is the hardest thing I could ever do, and I wrote him a letter. I don't remember talking to him. I remember writing a letter to break up with him. Mind you, when I'm writing this letter, I am crying the whole entire time that I'm writing this letter. I didn't want to do it, y'all. I didn't want to break up with him. I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want to give up on us. I love this man, boy at the time, but I love this man and I wanted this to work. And I really and truly believe that had I not listened to that person who told me to just break up with him, I probably would have been like Janet Jackson and left a whole lot sooner to take control of my life. But then I probably would have been running to him. But oh my God, he treated me so well. But anyway, let me stop rambling. He set the bar high, y'all. He treated me right. Now, I would look at other relationships and I would, you know, notice that they're not like him. They don't treat me like him. And I just knew in the back of my head, it's not going to work. I'm not going to stay with them. They were just to pass the time, because no one was measuring up to the way he treated me and the way he made me feel. And so I would always hope that maybe one day we would find each other again. Our hearts would find each other again. And let me tell you, before I close this out, let me tell you that years and years later, he would find me. And I remember I'm driving to Michigan and to go see some family. I was in Ohio. I'm driving to Michigan to go see some family. And my phone rings. And I don't know this number, but I go ahead and answer it. And it's him. Oh my God, y'all. I'm saying to myself, can this be true? Has he really come back for me? Has he really found me? Is my first love, like, this is really going to work out? And it didn't, because he was married with children. Oh my God. Another heartbreak. Y'all, I don't even know if anybody out there understands what I'm feeling and what I'm saying right now when I say how I felt about this guy, how I felt about having to break up with him, I was heartbroken for a long time. And then for us to find each other again, and then it still doesn't work out because he's a taken man, and I ain't nobody's side chick, okay? And I'm not a home wrecker. So that wasn't gonna work, and he's not that type of guy anyway. He just, I think, wanted closure, I guess. But again, just sad. But I say all that to say, your first love is not necessarily the person that you sleep with, okay? Your first love is that person that set that bar high, that person that says, I love you, you are important to me, I'm considering you in everything I say and do, I respect you, I honor you, and I'm gonna let you be you. And I'm gonna love you for who you are, the good, bad, and the ugly. And I'm gonna partner with you. Your first love is how Cliff looked at and treated Claire. And so my first love, he was my Cliff and I was Claire. And so if you find yourself in relationships that are not working out, I have to first tell you to go work on you. Because remember, I worked on me. Go work on you, work on your attitude, work on who you are, work on loving yourself, work on your insecurities and your doubts, work on your limiting beliefs, work on getting unstuck. Okay? Because until you do that, you're going to keep showing up in these relationships and they're not going to work. You can't build a healthy relationship out of heartbreak and pain. And I know we want to do the rebound thing and we say, oh, the rebound thing works. There's always exceptions to the rule, but it doesn't always work. You gotta get yourself together first so that you can choose more wisely. So that's what I did. I got myself together. I realized that this list that you have of a man or a woman that you want, are you that list? When someone said that to me, I'm like, OMG, the light bulb went off. You got this laundry list of things that you want in a relationship and that you want in a man and that you want him showing up. But are you what you want? Are you what's on that list? Because if you're not what's on that list, you're not ready for a relationship and you're not ready to build a healthy relationship. And you're going to keep attracting who you are. You're going to keep attracting that hole in your heart. So you got to work on you first in order to build that healthy relationship. So I worked on me, and in working on me, I could then see more clearly when I met someone, whether or not they were going to fit my personality and my lifestyle and the things that I'm looking for. And do they fit according to the benchmarks that my first love and someone else, I'll get to that in another episode, but my first love set. And that's what I found in my husband, someone who considers me, someone who appreciates me, someone who loves me for me, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I do get ugly. Again, I'm still working on me. All right. So work on you first, love you, embrace you, get to know you so that you can make decisions for your life based upon who you are and what's going to fit your life, your personality, and the vision that you have of where you want your life to go. All right. Where you are is not where you have to be. Your past does not define you. You define you. So heal, transform, and pursue you.